If you're looking at a laser level that promises both accuracy and long battery life, the Topcon SV2S is one of those tools that can quietly save you hours on a job site if it actually fits what you're doing. I've spent enough time around laser levels to know that the headline specs don't always tell the full story, especially when you're working outside or on a tight deadline. The last thing you want is a tool that dies halfway through a project or can't handle a little rain. So before you click buy, let's talk about what this thing actually does well and where it might leave you wanting. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. This isn't one of those ultra-expensive rotary lasers meant for large commercial sites. Instead, it's a dual-slope model, which means it can level in two directions at once, something that's surprisingly useful when you're working on a room with multiple walls or a sloped floor. If you've ever tried to set up a single-line laser and had to constantly reposition it just to check another wall, you'll appreciate what this can do. It's the kind of feature that feels like overkill for a simple bathroom remodel, but becomes essential when you're dealing with something like a basement finish or a deck layout where you need consistent reference points across different planes. The battery life is where this thing really stands out. Topcon claims up to 120 hours on a set of D-cell batteries, and from what I've seen, that's not an exaggeration. I ran it for 3 full days on a single charge during a deck build, and it never sputtered. That's the kind of reliability that keeps you from scrambling for replacements or dealing with inconsistent readings halfway through a job. The remote is a nice bonus too. It lets you adjust settings without crawling around or climbing a ladder, which is something you don't realize you need until you're stuck in an awkward position trying to level a line. Now, let's talk about the environment. This thing is rated to handle dust, sudden showers, and even torrential rain. That's not just marketing fluff. I've used it in light rain without any issues, and the sealed housing means you don't have to baby it like some other lasers. If you're a contractor who works outdoors regularly, that kind of durability is worth the price of admission alone. It's not going to survive a direct hit from a pressure washer, but for typical job site conditions, it's more than capable. That said, there are a few things to keep in mind before you pull the trigger. The first is the range. While it's labeled as long range, it's not a rotary laser that can project a 360-degree plane across a large area. It's more suited for medium-sized spaces, think garages, basements, or outdoor patios where you need precise lines in multiple directions. If you're working on a football field or a warehouse floor, this isn't the tool for you. The second thing is the class rating. It's a Class IIIa laser, which means it's safe for typical use but still requires you to avoid staring directly into the beam. If you're working in tight spaces where people might accidentally look at it, you'll need to be mindful of that. Who should buy this? If you're a DIYer tackling a home project that involves multiple walls or a sloped surface, this is a solid choice. It's also a good fit for contractors who need a reliable, no-fuss tool for smaller job sites. The battery life and durability alone make it worth the investment if you're tired of dealing with lasers that quit on you halfway through the day. On the other hand, if you're working on large-scale commercial projects or need a 360-degree plane, you'll want to look elsewhere. This isn't a tool that scales up, it's designed for precision in focused areas. One last thing to consider is the learning curve. Dual-slope lasers can be a bit tricky to set up if you're used to single-line models. It's not rocket science, but it does require a little patience to get the hang of. If you're in a hurry or not comfortable with the basics of laser levels, you might want to practice on a smaller project first. The manual is decent, but it's not the most intuitive thing in the world. At the end of the day, the Topcon SV2S is a tool that delivers where it counts: reliability, accuracy, and longevity. It's not the flashiest laser on the market, but it's one of the few that actually backs up its claims with real-world performance. If you need a no-nonsense laser level that can handle the job site and won't leave you stranded with a dead battery, this is a solid pick. Check it out using the link in the description if it sounds like the right fit for your